Here we go. We're
Yee.
live.
Go on then, Barry. Hit us with it.
All right, here we go. We in the house. We got our extended family from across the pond. We got Wales and Scotland in the house, and of course, Law Nation Sports and BG from the Big D.
Yes.
I thought maybe Eric from Germany will be on too as well, but real quick, and then we'll turn it over to Law. But what do you guys do for the fans out there? What do you guys do because you're 6 hours ahead? How do you guys handle game day? Do you have any rituals or lack of sleep, of course? But what do you guys do on game day, especially when there's late games?
I gain a more receding hairline by every year that happens to the Cowboys. As you can see, it's now gone. So I've aged by 20 years. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the hard ones are the Thursday and the Monday night football games.
Yeah.
Especially like the Monday night ones are probably the hardest because like I watch college football on the Saturday, which finishes about 4:00 in the morning on a Sunday. Then you got to watch NFL on the Sunday evening. Then you got Monday evening going into Monday night football. By then, delirium is fully set in. The boss is wondering what I'm talking about in work.
Man, that's good though. You know, you guys get a chance to still be diehard Cowboy fans way over there, and especially at the weird hours of times to still be so supportive of this team.
Honestly, Law, it's so crazy. I, I don't know if you may have met you've obviously met Cowboys fans from all different walks of place of the earth, but you can imagine like from fans from Japan or fans from Asia, like Asia in general. Then you've got Central Europe, we've got people Australia,
Jeez.
and this is why like so on like I do a new segment with SB Nation's blog and the boys called the World's Team, and that's what Cowboys is. It's not just only America's team, but it is the world's team now. So,
The
and
world's
that's
team.
what it's all about.
Well,
Man.
Paul's gotten to be a legend over here too, because especially tell us about your game day outfit, Paul. Because
The
I mean,
attire.
you're getting to be world famous. I think you might be, the worldwide fan of the year or something. So
I wouldn't put myself in that equation, especially when against all the super fans that's out there. No chance. But yeah, I do wear my traditional kilt and wear some war paint. So I look as though I'm literally running from Braveheart. So there you go. And yeah, I think our friend Eric from Germany has just arrived. So let's bring him
oh,
in.
did he? Okay,
Yeah, he's
There he
right.
is.
Yeah,
there he is.
there he is.
Yeah.
Eric Fleck from Germany, ladies and gentlemen. So actually, I'll give you a background on Eric. Eric's been doing. I'll let him fill you in, but he's been over here with us, numerous times as well. Paul, he's tell us about it. I mean, he goes back 20 years. You've been here, what, 10? You've been to a couple road games, and you've been to the UK game. He was out there and joined us at the UK game as well.
Eric?
Eric.
Oh, that's sound.
There you go. We heard you there, Eric.
Yeah.
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, indeed.
I couldn't hear you at first. I don't know why. Okay.
Yeah, tell us about all your trips over here, Eric, and all your game. Some of the favorite times you've had over here.
No, I can remember remember today that it's 20 years ago that we first met. My first experience with Barry and his business. By that time, the fan group, the boys, they gave me your contact when I asked for some advice, who to meet or whatever goes on in there. While I was on my own for the trip to Dallas, my first game. So that was in 2002.
Wow.
And since then, I had 7 games in Dallas, 3 at Texas Stadium, 4 at Cowboy Stadium, AT&T, whatever they want. And I got lucky with my job, so I joined Barry and his staff at some of the away games too. So I saw the Cowboys at Kansas City and at Detroit. and we met in London for the game against the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome, Eric.
And you're an hour even later, so it's midnight there where you are, right, Eric?
So sorry, didn't get that.
It's midnight where you're at. You're an hour ahead of.
Yeah, sure. It's 10
Ball.
minutes to midnight.
Wow.
10 minutes to midnight. So
Well, we appreciate you coming on. That's for sure. Gosh, it's late for you guys. Paul and Mike there.
Man, it's
Yeah.
late. Yeah, yeah.
It is definitely not time for a coffee, that's for sure.
Definitely not.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, indeed, man.
I know. I have to stick to the H2O, unfortunately.
I know that's what I'm on right now. I was thinking.
No,
about
you're a
that,
lying, mate. You're on the sneak.
I did have a sneak earlier. That was in preparation. Like, just in case you're wondering, sneak isn't like some weird thing. It's just like a caffeinated drink, like a Red Bull, basically.
No doubt, no doubt. So with all that being said, man, I appreciate you guys, man. We're gonna try to do this show every Friday around this time, 4:30. Well, our time, 4:30, and it will be 11:30 your time, or
Yes.
10:30.
Yeah. But I mean, like being at this Friday night.
Friday.
I mean, yeah, it's a Friday afternoon for you. So if
It's
we want to have beer and
Friday then.
cocktails, it's up to you, Law. I know
So it's
you're
all
quite partial to a cocktail.
Yeah, I'm very, very passionate to that. Let's get it. Well, today is Thursday over here, so it's kind of like, okay, Friday for your world. Okay. Barry, do you have any surprise cuts for this team, or you don't want to dive into that? It's too soon.
Well, I think I wish he would have played the other night, and hopefully he'll play this weekend. But I think the quarterback might have one that we might have one at quarterback, and I think we might have one at receiver. I don't know. You got to get on the field, and if you don't get on the field, that might be a casualty as well. I think the O line and D line for the most part is set. I don't know if I'd be totally too surprised with all that, but I think most of the cornerbacks, depending upon how many they keep, I think the linebackers are pretty set for at least a good 5 there, and then I think cornerback and safety. I don't know if there's going to be too many. And the kicker is going to be an obviously surprise or problem, or who knows what's going to happen there yet.
No doubt.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul? You got any surprise cuts or?
I'm going to go quite off ball. I think Kelvin Joseph might actually not make it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one there.
Yeah. We were just talking about this on our show, right, Law? And obviously you've been to the training camp facilities and what have you. So, like, from what we have seen this way and looking at the preseason game with Denver last week, so you're seeing Bland obviously taking really was the rookie sensation in that game. Or not rookie, he was the best rookie player from the Dallas Cowboys in that
Right.
game. Nashon Wright, I'm giving him a pass because of really you were asking him to be a corner in that style of game without scheming. There wasn't much pass rush pressures, sacks going on. So it's not really a true evaluation, I feel, of what a cornerback is or is going to do in a game. But I still think he's better than Calvin Joseph. Then once you add in CJ Goodwin, who I feel is going to be added, you can say one way or another he couldn't. Where does that leave Calvin Joseph, and how much longer has he got before he's put onto the hot seat? That's my question to you, Law.
Well, egos. The Jones family got big egos, and that's one of the things that they probably would look at this like Kelvin Joseph was a second-round draft pick by the Cowboys, and I don't think that they will be willing to fall on the sword. So, if it was up to me, can Kelvin Joseph play special teams, right? And then on the play yesterday in practice, the joint practice, he did make a few breakups there. So we're going to look at it like, okay, can we trim the fat elsewhere before they trim the fat on Kelvin Joseph? Now, granted, Dayron Bland been playing out of his mind, as well as Nashon Wright, although he got Flag City the other day, in the actual preseason game. So I would say that they would probably get rid of CJ before they get rid of KJ.
Interesting. Even though he provides you with like that he's one of your core special teamers as a gunner.
Right.
Yeah, he's excellent there. Yeah.
He's excellent there. Nevertheless, he's not that good at all in coverage. So do you?
Yeah.
And KJ is pretty good on special teams as well. And then you got the aspect of he was a second-round draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what I think. I think more than anything is keeping. It's really going to keep Calvin Joseph around because what's funny is it's a balance back and forth with Calvin Joseph because on one hand he's your second round pick, which is quite a high commodity pick,
right?
But on the other hand, he's also got whatever's looming in the background with the NFL's,
right?
Jiu-jitsu, whatever they because we know that they stick to their own schedule when it comes to issuing out whatever punishment they want to do. They're not gonna be the guy going like, yeah, next week. It's like, no, you stick to our schedule. We'll tell you when we're gonna put a whatever ban there is. And I wonder, is that in the back of the Cowboys' minds when it comes to the next cuts? I don't know.
Right. I say live for the moment until that happens. We can't worry about when the NFL will issue out their random suspensions. And I do know that Roger Goodell, judge, jury, and executioner, he's going to try. If the Cowboys, it's just like last year, right? We played week 1, and then after week 1, they said, okay, what was it? Breaking news that La'el Collins will be suspended for 5 games. It was... Breaking news: La'el Collins is now suspended for 5 games. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And now we're like, hey, wait a minute, And we had to put Terrence Steele in there, and we didn't know what we would look like week 2. And the world was falling, the sky was falling because no La'el Collins. Remember, DeMarcus Lawrence broke his foot, so it was no La'el Collins, no DeMarcus Lawrence. Maybe you get Zach Martin to come back off of C-19. So week 2 last year we was scrambling. So that's just the NFL way.
Honestly, Lord, it felt like the scene from The Office. It's like, nobody panic, everybody run, nobody panic. It was like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, a great point there, by the way. Yes, indeed. So we don't know. So I don't know when to press the panic button. I don't want you guys to do it, but you know how it goes. That panic button is right there, and everybody's looking to see whether or not the Cowboys fan base will be willing to press it.
It's a good one. Because the other one that we were talking about as well is the tight end position, right? Because on one hand, you've got a guy who's an inline blocker who is really the only inline blocking tight end you've got. That sort of inline YH back type of tight end. Right. The other guys are all more move tight ends. Now, the trouble you got is they're all fairly similar in what they can provide to you on an offense. But they can't do, unfortunately, the inline blocking. But the trouble is the guys that can all do the same thing are better than this guy. So my question, it's like it's one of them 6 of one, half a dozen of another of what they're going to do with that tight end position.
Well, Sean McEwing, I think this is my lineup right here. It's going to be Dalton Schultz, your tight end 1. Then your tight end 2 is Sean McEwing. He's number 84 for those who don't know. If you have any reservations about him, take a look at 2 games from last year. There will be the Raiders game and as well as the Atlanta Falcons game. You will see Sean McEwing stood tall in those 2 games, especially. He's great as an inline blocking situation. I think he got a little nastiness to him. I think that would be the best suit for the Cowboys to roll him out and then sprinkle in Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, because Jake Ferguson is on fire right now.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Lo, I think I agree. I think they're going to keep the young guys. And you said sprinkle in. I think it's going to be sprinkle out.
Oh, sprinkle out?
Sprinkle out. Yeah, like that.
Sprinkle.
I think they'll keep taking and then the Indiana young guy there. And then I think we might be sprinkling out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what have you heard as well? Because we've only had... as I was saying to you off air, the NFL news we get over here is fairly limited. But we've
limited. That's an understatement.
I know, mate. I know. But that we've heard that Sprinkle's injured, but have we heard the depth of his injury? How long it's going to take on Sprinkle?
It's a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. He got a ruptured Achilles. It's going to snap.
That's done.
It's going to snap, so some days it get aggravated, and it seems as if, though, the best medicine to that is sitting out for 6 to 7 weeks, let it completely heal up. But if not, that's going to be a nagging injury for a long time. And you would know it, because I heard one snap before. It's going to make a shapah. And we're going to be waiting to hear some of that information when it happened, because it's sad when he had those type of things. It'd be like, come on. So I just hope, man, we just go ahead, put them on injury reserve, and just pay attention to the guys that can really play out there on the field for a long stay. And that'd be Peyton Hendershot. I really, really like Peyton Hendershot.
I like him as the player, yeah.
I was meant to ask, Eric, what was your surprise cut to the squad?
Oh, now you're asking me too much details. So I didn't really follow this week or the preseason, because I just started a new job, so I'm pretty busy.
Congratulations.
And everything is in the bag for another couple of weeks before I really get going.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
I mean, like the other ones I can really think of that and I'm not so much worried that he will be cut, but more that he's going to be moved to the practice squad is Dennis Houston. And I know he's the hot boy right now. I know what you're going to say, because he's the guy.
Wait.
No.
That's a very surprise right there.
I know. We're going for surprises. But the reason I'm saying I think that is that he hasn't done anything wrong. They've asked him to be the X-type receiver, and he's done exactly that. You see what he's done today with the Chargers in practice on, that final catch.
Hail Mary.
Yeah, ticking all the boxes. But at the same time, I just think that what else is he really offering right now? Like, he's not a perfectly polished player. And I just think that he's going to be that type of guy that goes to the practice squad. And, because of the rules of the practice squad players, you can bring in and out during the season. I think that he's your first guy you bring on for the wide receiver core to bring in. And then he can go back again.
I think Cavante Turpin's going to be calling you, Mike.
Right.
I like what Turpin's doing. There's more. He's got this dual role that he can provide, and he's also got like that. The way I describe it is that Lucky Whitehead feel to him.
Yeah. We haven't had a receiving. I think we need a kick returner, punt returner, whatever. We haven't had that, and I don't think they're good one in years.
Since Lucky Whitehead, right?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, but I mean, like the jet sweeps and the bubble screens and tunnel screens.
Yeah.
He can do all of that, and he's even done a little bit of running back as well.
Well, Mike, before we go too far over, and I know it's late over there where you at.
It's okay, baby.
But we got to flip it around. Instead of Dennis Houston being the surprise cut, because I know for sure if he's cut, the Giants will be knocking at the door, the Eagles, the Washington team, to try to get as much as information they can. I think that he will be the surprise starting wide receiver. They said, now this is news that you guys can take it however you want. But this is literally news that it's a wait and see with CD Lamb, because he got a cut on his foot, on his toe.
That's right, yeah.
And there's a two folds to this. First, you got to let the stitches get out. And then it got to properly heal without being affected or what have you. And receivers use their feet so much, and we don't want it to get affected or what. And that could be a problematic thing right there. So week 1, you can literally have Dennis Houston, Jalen Tolbert, and Simi Fehoko as your starting lineup for wide receivers, because Noah Brown got a hurt toe.
Yeah, there is that issue too, and I get it that you need to add him because of the subtraction issue. Go on, sorry, Paul.
I was just about to say we don't want an Antonio Brown situation with the frostbite situation, because Law was just saying, it's like the biggest weapon of a wide receiver is their feet. like besides their hands, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like, it's we don't want to rush CD
Yeah.
Lamb too soon, where it's just gonna like make it even worse. So I am completely on board with that.
Totally agree. Totally
Like,
agree.
so any type of injury to the feet is like should take absolutely seriously.
Yeah.
Even if it's a wee slight knock, do a full evaluation on it because we need them. We need every wide receiver we can get.
Yeah. I mean, like it's probably, especially because I know you've been to training camp, you've been to Oxnard, and you've seen Dennis Houston up close, so you're probably getting a different perspective than what I'm getting.
Yeah.
But you know, like when you're just watching the clips and what have you, every time I see it, I'm going, okay, boxes are getting ticked, yeah. But I'm not seeing. And I know he's the X type receiver, which is the one thing the Cowboys right now are missing. Ironically, since Amari Cooper's gone, but and Michael Gallup obviously being injured as well. But it's like you're missing that part. And I'm watching Dennis Houston, and he looks great, and he's doing everything you need. But I'm just like at the same time, I'm going. It's just there's certain things they're just slightly missing, where you're going to ask him to do certain things during the season that you're not asking him to do right now, and is he going to be able to do those things?
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Mike.
Go on.
Instead of Houston, who would be that guy?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. We would like. So what's the answer? And my answer when you ask that question is I don't know.
You
I know
definitely
it's a rubbish answer.
right. You can't put TJ Vasher out there. He's unproven at this point, and he can barely get separation on the twos and the number 3 team. We have yet to see him play any reps with the number 1 team as it relates to practice. And I really like Semi Fehoko. I like him at that role where they line him up inside the slot. They got him on a vertical routes. They got him on some flag routes out of that. I just haven't seen him play primarily on the outside as well. So it's a real crazy situation. I always say it is the area of the unknown.
Simply because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist.
That's what we
We'll
got right
put
there.
a special effects team with it.
Oh, gotta
Special
be
effects
something
team
else.
sitting in the office there with him.
We don't know. It's the unknown, man. We don't know. In the Jones family, look, TMZ got in touch with Jerry Jones, and they asked him, how do you feel about Antonio Brown? And he scoffed at them and said, hey, I want my young guys to get a chance. Guess what, Jerry? You will find out now.
Yep.
There's an ironic thing. So, and I'll ask everybody this, is that I don't think there's a team in the NFL right now that's asking so much in a roster from their rookies and second-year guys. And I'm even including Micah Parsons in that.
Right.
That's a really good point, Mike.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like when you think about across the board, that roster, it's a super young roster. And then you look at LA Rams last year winning the Super Bowl. That was an old team.
They're the complete opposite.
The opposite. So many veterans.
Like they've somehow managed to rig the whole salary cap myth and get every player known to man in our roster. So make what you will of that. But in terms of us, we're kind of looking more towards future assets for the team. Coming straight out of college, it doesn't matter if you're first round or undrafted. It seems that Jerry's really wanting to try and encourage that and try not basically get the checkbook out. And we kind of saw that during free agency there. Yeah. So
I don't know what you think, right? Well, I know we're talking about the second-year guys as well. Right. You know, like Chauncey Golston is another example. Osa Odigizua. There's a lot of pressure on these guys, but how is? I mean, like but everybody's saying Micah Parsons, and he really, really is. You're watching everything. We was talking about this a few weeks ago, how he bends around the edge, and most players, you're trying to just maintain your speed as you come around, and you're getting as low as you can. I've never seen a player though that when they're bending, they don't just maintain their speed; they start accelerating.
Yeah.
I've never said, how is that possible, right? I've never seen a player do that.
Yeah, well.
What is it? He's inhumane.
Yeah. He wasn't born in the UK nor the United States. He was born born in another galaxy, man.
In a Marvel comic.
Right. His speed to power is crazy. I look at Parsons, and hey, as a footnote, pay attention to Sam Williams, by the way. I have high hopes for him. I'm not saying that he's Parsons, but he's a 4.4 guy, 4.4 speed. And it's about to get crazy with this defense, even though we are a very young team.
Yeah.
I'm glad you kind of mentioned Sam Williams. Like, I was one of the advocates. It's like I wasn't really thrilled that we got him in the second round, but I'm one of these type of fans where I love to be proven wrong. Where like if Sam Williams keeps improving, then I am all up for eating humble pie. And that's the.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what did you say, Paul? What were the things you said about Sam Williams?
Yeah. What was it? Elaborate.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, sure. Well.
Yeah.
Based on his early footage, it just seems to be just a bull rush at first. I felt his lateral speed, like moving side to side, was actually hands down a lot worse than his straight line speed. Hence his like 4.4 time. Straight line speed, phenomenal, absolutely. But in terms of like edging going around the corner, it seemed to like back in college when he was at Ole Miss, it just seemed to be upper body was too high, and it just always relied on bull rushing most of the time. But we saw a different side of that in that Broncos game. We saw his lower level of his technique drastically improve in in a short turnaround, and also we're seeing a lot more use of the hands, and that's something where we didn't actually get to see that much during his time at Ole Miss, and it seems to be really learning so quickly under Adam Durden and Dan Quinn. So that's the reason why Jerry and Dan Quinn went over to go and see him during the the actual team visit. They're doing an Ole Miss. He worked really hands-on with him. So we're starting to see that. So by all means, humble pie is getting put on the oven right now.
Right. Well, it's still in preheat mode.
Still. I know it's still too early to say, but the signs are good. The signs are good. So
you know what? It's on preheat, and then when the button beep, we'll put them in the oven, and that will be week 1. We'll put them in the oven. We'll give them 4 games to prove us wrong or right, and then we will go with it from there. Now, here's what Durden works out with him.
Said.
Yeah. Oh, you said the same thing. Well,
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's his preseason.
Yes, indeed. So I love when I was out there in camp, Durden and Dan Quinn. They double team those boys with technique and making sure that they keep their pad levels low. And the thing is with Sam Williams, his speed to power is great. Yes, he was a little too tall, but from what I was able to see, even in his college tape, what he did to Evan Niels and Charles Cross, both of those guys, look them up. They are first-round draft pick tackles and offensive linemen, basically. And he made them his baby. I said, you know what? Give him the right coaching, and Sam Williams can be a double-digit sack guy. Call me crazy, but I see it in him.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And it's more, I think, between the ears with him as opposed to the athletical traits, and he just needs to be taught how to do these things. And once he's got it, he's locked it. But sticking with the defensive ends, mind you, what are you seeing? Because this guy, high ceiling, but also the floor is really low, is Dante Fowler.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really interested in him because he's the wild card player that could get you to the playoffs.
He is the guy that hopefully make us forget about Randy Gregory. And I'm saying this loosely. Nevertheless, when you think of Dante Fowler, technically, he has a better career than Randy Gregory overall. And when he got a chance to play with other guys of his caliber, keep in mind, go back to the 2019 LA Rams, and you will see the I guess whatever Rams they were at the time. You will see, a guy that had 11 and a half sacks, double-digit sacks. So I truly believe Fowler will be that guy to come in as a rotational guy. Him, Dorrance Armstrong, as well as, of course, Sam Williams and of course, Michael Parsons. They put those guys on both sides of the field. I think that this is a perfect recipe for him to get straight with this team and wreak havoc.
Yeah, because I do think this is a stop. I don't think he's staying in Dallas. This is another one of those, like the Robert Quinn situations where he's coming in and stopping off, gonna prove what he can do. Because I mean, the guy was phenomenal. He was taken first overall because like
Right.
this is a guy who didn't need 3 years in college. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
he could have come out as a freshman and played in the NFL.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think the Dan Quinn factor is going to play in that a big time too, because like everybody says that 1 year and done, and maybe, but hey, you never know. I mean, see what the power of Dan Quinn, how he's working all this magic. So doing awesome so far.
Yes, indeed. That's Dan Quinn. Eric, do you have anything on that?
Oh, so sorry,
Yeah,
guys, but
you have to butt in, otherwise I will not shut up, mate.
I didn't expect a little different, but I'm not getting into any big details right now. It's the same seeing every year what they do on the roster. I don't. It's really hard for me to follow every guy and know that their strengths and whatever. You're more into this detailed stuff and following really.
Yeah,
really hard.
these guys are the experts. These guys are
really team of experts here.
well,
Following
that's
every
pretty
day. So.
I would say the ranking of expert definitely goes from first, second, and I would definitely go more for the last. I am just an absolute idiot sometimes, so make that review
I'll
well.
spend the last, okay?
Well,
I'm a guy who's got short man syndrome and a big mouth, so don't listen to what I have to say.
I'm just a jolly Scotsman. End of the day.
well, you guys got Law Nation. Have you heard of me over
There you
there?
There you go.
Yeah, of course. I saw you. I recognize you. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
I've already told you this, Law, that if you come over here, you'll be surprised how recognized you'll be. Everybody buying you beers.
So for everyone who's viewing the stream right now on Law's channel and here in Cowboys Experience, we were just saying to Law that, especially here in the UK Cowboys fans and stuff like that, like Law is well recognized as long as other content creators are. So when we say Law ever comes to London, by means he will be getting beers bought. He will be getting praised like the heavens, so to speak.
Well, even the players, Law. Remember, like a couple of years ago when it was Cheeto, he even recognized you there and said, "I listened to you." And then Osa did the other day at camp, right?
Yes, indeed, Osa. And speaking of Osa, I got high hopes for him. I see him as 5 or 6 sack guy. If that could be possible for the Cowboys, it would have been the first time since I believe Jeremy Mincey. I think that was the last guy that had.
Wow,
well, no, I take that back.
Blast from the past.
I take that back because Crawford did Crawford have 5.5 sacks one season?
Yes, he did 1 year. He definitely had 5 sacks at least.
At least. So that's what I want Osa to get, anywhere around that number from the interior, but better.
I'm
so
really
about your guy, Paul.
Yeah, so after seeing this transformation from last year to now, I'm very intrigued to see what Chancey Golston is going to do for us, especially in the free tech position. That's what I'm very interested in, because you saw the weight increase he's put on, and he looked really good in the early parts of that Broncos game. Like, he was getting through the interior, great hands, and flushing the quarterback out the pocket. So that's him doing his job properly. So it'd be very interesting to see when the whole collective, the whole defensive line works together like that. And I'm excited. I'm really excited about our defensive line. Yeah.
Golston been quiet, though. I haven't heard not one word from Golston camp. I heard Big Bo Hanna, Ridgeway. We heard whispers of Ridgeway, him getting to fight with everybody and walking off.
Big JR.
Big JR.
Big JR. But I'll keep my eyes and ears open for a Golston sighting in that 3-tech. I do like the idea of kicking DeMarcus Lawrence in as that 3-tech and keep pushing Parsons down on certain pass rush. That would look really good for us.
Do you think it's more situational based? Like, if we're going that route?
Yeah.
Like, based on,
And do you think as well, because DeMarcus Lawrence, right, he shed some weight. Neville Gallimore has put on healthy weight, if that makes sense. Sort of like he's maintained weight then, if you like, but it seems to be more muscle than bad weight.
Flabber,
that weighty sand in the pants look. But I'm wondering what you think. Are they trying to go, because this is very much a Dan Quinn thing from Seattle. Do you think they're trying to go down this, the NASCAR defensive line route.
Right.
I feel that that's what they're trying to. They're almost there. That seems to be the direction they're going with the NASCAR formation.
Right. They had one big guy in the middle, Big Maybane, and then they
the
had
fast
Cliff
guys.
Averill on the outside, and Bobby Wagner as your linebacker. And I truly think that this team got some similarities to that. Outside of we missing a Earl Thomas, knock on wood, I hope that Malik Hooker can be that type of
That's my guy
impact.
you're talking about. That's my guy you're talking about.
Malik, yeah. So,
yes.
So I hope that Malik can be that guy that can. He probably control the middle of the field and be that guy. I was telling someone earlier, somebody was typing in under my comments saying, "Law, our secondary is trash, Lord." I said, "Don't you know? Football 101. The front seven makes the secondary."
Exactly.
Yep.
So we can't judge the secondary based upon what we've seen in preseason as well as these training camp clips. Because if that front seven, if they get to that quarterback, man, see, y'all got me crunk now, man. If they go around and make these teams play, that's why Tom Brady said he need to have a mental clarity. He checking out of practices because he hear those footsteps of Michael Parsons and Anthony Brown and everybody, Anthony Barr and all of those boys coming. He hear that.
So after a bold prediction, right? So obviously I do the Bulls Team podcast with my co-host Meg Murray, right? So we've got a bet going, right? Like she doesn't want to bet against the Cowboys, but she still thinks the Bucks are gonna win. But I'm saying this: we cannot let Tom Brady become undefeated against the Cowboys before he retires. And with that defensive front seven, how can you not go again? Explain that to me, you know?
Well, all respect to Tom Brady. He just figure out ways to win. And he's seen more football than Kellen Moore forgot. He's seen more football than probably Dan Quinn can remember. And that's Tom Brady. And if you give him an inch, he would take it for the mile. Newsflash, 28-3. Dan Quinn need to have that in the back of his mind. So he need to look at Tom Brady as public enemy number one, and he should be looking at this as a sweet revenge. And I'm talking about way when Dan Quinn was coaching the Atlanta Falcons, for those who don't know, 28-3. They was up. Can you imagine being up 28-3 and you lose the game? Come on.
You would be already dancing in champagne.
Yeah, you're tasting that champagne already.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe that's what they were doing.
I genuinely thought the game was over. I was like, I already had a bet, and I had the option to cash out early. And I was like, so I think it was like I put like $20 or £20, and the jackpot the returns would have been like $100, and they were offering me 50, and I was like, nah, it's in the bag. Let's go. I ended up going home with nothing because I was just not deep in shock because I was like, God, I kind of wish I cashed out the 50 quid or $50.
Yeah. Or was that greed?
Sorry.
When
you're 23, surely it's guaranteed, right?
Nobody's ever. I think as well that's the only team that has been losing at halftime in the Super Bowl to come back to win it.
I think that's the only one.
That's the only one. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember this.
Say that one again. Say that one again.
They were, I believe, I might be wrong. Somebody's probably going to correct me, but I believe they are the only Super Bowl, like in a Super Bowl, they're the only team to be losing by halftime to come back to win it.
Dallas was losing to Buffalo.
Or was it maybe the third quarter?
Wasn't it 10-7 Buffalo at halftime?
10-7.
Yeah,
and then they came back and just spanked them.
Oh yeah, we spanked them. Yeah.
Maybe it was the third quarter. I'm thinking of. There was something. There was some spurious fact, but here's a spurious fact for you as well that I found out.
Like school with these facts.
I love it.
And this is an interesting one because it very well pertains to the Cowboys roster. Can you name the teams that have not a special teams coach but a kicking coach on their coaching roster? Can you name them?
Name a team without a kicking coach?
No, with a kicking coach.
Oh. Oh, no, I don't
in,
know.
in the NFL right now.
Yeah, in the NFL.
It used to be Chris Bonio. He was one, but I think he's done and gone. But
I'm gonna take a stab in the dart. Is it not like the Jets or something like that?
It's one team.
It's one team. The
That
Rams.
has a kick, and it's old Mr. Tucker's kicking coach. Look how ironic that works out.
Baltimore.
Wow. Justin
Yeah.
Tucker, Baltimore.
He has a kicking coach. And it's the
$24
only team-
million player.
Yeah, and he has a kicking coach, and he happens to be the best kicker in the NFL.
Well, we need to send a memo out to Jerry. There's no salary cap as it relates to coaching. So he need to go get, I guess, who will be our kicker this year? Who you guys know? Brett Mayhaw?
That's where I'm going.
Oh, okay. So
Like, I don't understand it. Well, why is it when so much is put onto your kicker that they don't have a coach to help go down? Like at the moment, imagine what a kicking coach would do for the Cowboys.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, Mike. I don't even think I'm kicking coach is necessary. It'll be more of a mental health coach they'll need at this rate.
Why not have one of them as well?
Well, there you go. And that's an important thing. If a players are feeling down, feeling a bit, the morale's down, get a mental health coach. Get some guys to come in and try and ease the mind a bit, get them back refocused again. Because that is a big factor. So it's just outside of football that could affect them on the field as well. So there you go.
Because right now, the thing that is going to bring this team down, I feel, is the kicking. It's field goals, extra points. Because what's going to go on there, Law? Help me out. I don't know what I'm missing.
Great deep snapper and great punter, but man, this kicking thing is a problem.
think about this as we look at everything. We lost 3 games last year by the kicker. Now, that's not my words. That's his words. Greg Zuerlein said, hey, if I make the kicks, we win the game. And that's the difference between being the number 1 seed versus how we were ranked at in the playoffs. Not saying if we was the number 1 seed. I guess we wouldn't have played the 49ers if we were the number 1 seed. We would have played someone else.
Yeah. We go further deeper in.
Deeper end of it. You got you guys that will be refreshed or what have you. So I think that making your kicks is a very valuable thing. I think also that this shouldn't be a political thing as well. I think that those guys, is it Lyram Halarula?
We say hallelujah. We just say hallelujah.
I call him Lareem H.
Lareem H. So if he can beat out Brett Maher, then that would be a good situation. But if not, let Brett be our kicker and just stab ourselves in the leg every time when we cut Kai Forbath, who never missed a kick for us.
I think I posted that a couple of weeks ago. Where's he at? Where's Kai?
Still on the market.
I thought he signed with someone. Did he?
Did he?
Let me look it up. Or somebody in the chat help us out.
I know. I've gone through free agents, looked at free agent on the market, and there literally is no point. Right. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, look, Dicker's just been cut," and you're just like, to me, I'm like, he's been cut from a team, so you're just picking up someone else's trash. Why are you doing that? If he's not good enough there, what makes you think he's good enough here? And I just think that right now you've got 2 guys on your roster who are kickers, and as bad as it is for Cowboys fans, you're going to have to live with the fact that one of them is going to be the guy going into the season.
Mike, just to kind of bring up your point there, if there's not good enough for our team, what means to say if that player might actually be better than the ones that we've got?
I know, it's the backside of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, just a quick reference. Everybody that's here, please tune in to Cowboys Experience and call today for an unbelievable package. That's 817-888-1726. That's the hotline. That's the number. There you go. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you. 817-888-1726. That's the number. Give us a call.
Sweet. You know what's crazy as well, just so you know, Law, is next year we are bringing a whole bunch of people from the UK over.
Oh wow, it's a UK party.
We made a whole travel road trip.
Yep. So it's
which week? For sure, it's too soon.
way too soon. So
Yeah.
part of Cowboys Experience, we're doing a feature for the UK Cowboys fans package deal where try and get as many of the fan group to come over as a whole group
in one group.
And one group, all sitting together, all representing the UK from Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland, even people from Europe can come on board as well.
They've messaged and asked.
Eric, you got to put that on your schedule, buddy.
Yeah,
I will.
but like it's everything as well. So like it's the tours of the stadium of Frisco, but we're also going to go to college game as well. So like TCU, North Texas, something like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Shout out to TCU.
The whole deal, baby. So that's going to be quite some fun. But what is crazy is we're the first bunch to ever think to do it. Cowboys lead the way again, mate.
Right, the first team to have a group of fans like this. Are there any other like big fan bases out there, or is Cowboys only in UK?
No, we're not even the biggest. Green Bay, Miami, Patriots.
Patriots, yeah. It's mostly teams are glory hunting, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You find there's suddenly a surge in Rams fans in the UK.
All of a sudden. Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget there was Tampa Bay as well when Brady and Gronk went to Tampa.
Yeah.
So there was that resurgence. It's like Patriots fans went down, Tampa went up.
Oh, wow.
But also randomly, and like when you go to the London games, you notice this a lot as well. Is you see, I don't know why. Don't ask me why this is the case, but you find a lot of Jags fans, loads. They are in force, and randomly Browns fans.
Wow.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few Browns fans, but not as great as numbers as us or anything like that.
No.
But it's like you would never really expect to see
so many.
Yeah. But at the same time, that's the more beautiful thing about the international games. It's like it's not just the two teams are playing; it's all 32 teams representing their teams to finally get to see an NFL game.
Wow!
And that's the reason why the NFL are doing the whole NFL international series. So you've got the game in Mexico, you've got games in Germany now, which is amazing for you, like Eric.
Yeah.
So you get so.
Because we spoke about going to Germany, didn't we, Paul?
Yeah, we were thinking about doing that. Yeah, then I was like, nah, I still want to go to Dallas, but if it's not Dallas, I'm not interested.
Go over there and have a few Steiners.
Steiners.
Same here, but I must admit that I took our colors to the Washington-Cincinnati game at Wembley the last time.
Well, here's a crazy fact for you. And Heckler Harrison from Dallas Cowboys has told us he wants it. But the flag here, the UK Cowboys flag, has never witnessed a loss.
Wow.
Oh.
Wait a minute now. So you're the reason why we lost that playoff game. Come on.
It has yet to witness a loss.
So whenever the Cowboys flags actually attended a game, it's never lost.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Wow.
Well, I'm about to say
I need to get a list of the ones coming from the UK this year, so you can.
Colts and Texans. So the flag's coming over.
Come on, bring the flags over, man.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, Paul will be here for two of them, so you get back-to-back wins there.
Even here's what's funny, Law. You'll laugh about this, but there was even an article written about the flag.
Oh wow!
Because it has yet to lose.
Man, see, that's the secret sauce. We're gonna have to reach out to Jerry. We definitely gonna have to reach out to him.
We did once try to get Stephen Jones to brand the World's team idea, didn't we, Paul?
Oh no,
he liked it.
He liked it. Tried to convince him to make a T-shirt out of it, but now I've pretty much got the rights to it because I've got the podcast for it now. So if he wants it, you gotta pay that money.
You better watch out. Don't make them mad now. They'll figure out a way.
Oh no, I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare.
You will never win against that.
No. I'll just be like, all right, fair enough. There you go.
Just don't hurt me. Just don't punch me in the face.
Yes, indeed, man.
I've met Steve. He's a nice guy in person.
You had a beer with him, or
this was back in Texans 2018 on the sideline.
Okay.
How drunk were you, Paul?
Not a chance with Johnny Walker or anything like that.
Oh well, that happened when I met Jerry, mind you, the week after.
Can you remember meeting him, Paul?
No, but but it's documented on my documentary, and unfortunately, I do not remember. And even Jerry said to me, "Thanks for the Scottish luck," and I'm like, "How can I not remember this until I saw the documentary went online?" I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" So
That's amazing, man. That's amazing story there.
That's very drunk. So
yeah,
drunk you can't remember meeting the owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
You guys want to do Q&A? Any questions
Yeah.
in the chat?
yeah, go for it.
Go
Let's
for
go.
it.
I got Fresh King 36 says Barry Griffith looked like he's related to Mike Dicker. You ever get that?
Hey, that's a yes.
That's a cowboy, right? Is
Yeah.
Barry Dicker more known for his Cowboys
Chicago
appearance
Bears.
or Bears? Which one?
Yeah.
I think he's more famous for the whole running back draft, giving away all that capital as well for the Saints.
Okay, yeah.
Like when you think of when you think of Dick, you have to go with the Bears because you can just when you shut your eyes and think of the image, you can just see him in that uniform with the headphones on. That's just what you see, don't you? You know.
Yes, indeed. Let's see who else we have here in the chat. Appreciate everyone that's watching. It says UK. Are there any UK Eagles fans out there? This is from East Camden.
There are.
Come on now, Camden, who cares?
Who cares?
Here's the crazy thing is like, so we're all part of the NFL UK.
Oh, okay.
And obviously there's NFL UK that pretty much owns us all. And then you've got each 32 represented. So you got UK Cowboys, UK Eagles. Ironically, two of the closest people that we're with outside of the UK Cowboys are the UK Giants and the UK Eagles. They're really friendly, which is weird. And like we've met them as well, like when we've been to events and stuff. The Giants especially. And like, you know, when you're just like, there they are, there's the enemy. I really want to hate them. And then you end up having a beer and being friends. You're like, God damn it, I wanted to hate him.
That's one of those. What's the best beer out there?
Oh, forgot to beat that one.
Well, what's the best water out there? We came, what's the best water?
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yeah.
No, beer.
I tell you what, mate, you go for a Welsh beer, I'll go for a Scottish beer.
Well, if it's a Welsh beer, it's Brain Skull Attack.
Okay.
And for me, probably be Brewdog.
Eric, ein Bier, bitte. What do you got over there, Germany? What's your favorite?
Man, they got so good
favorite.
beer.
Oh, I'm more into wine right now, but close in the area, it's Bitburger. So I don't know if you have that. Have you ever heard of it?
What was the name of it? Sorry?
Bitburger.
What's the white one? Hogarden? Is it the white one? The white ale?
Most of it is it's like pills, so that's
that's it. Yeah. We what happens usually when me and Paul get together? We end up drinking tequila and whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Last time we met together was the Super Bowl night, and we ended up drinking some Don Julio in 1942.
1942. Y'all got any questions on your end over there? I can't read your chat.
Not from us. No, there's nothing coming through for us at our end. But
there's just more compliments, more like awesome video from a lot of people. So we can say is thank you very much.
I did see the comment in your chat though. It says I look like Tony Romo, so thanks for that.
They say you look like Romo.
Yeah, Lucky Johnson.
And you guys, of course, they say I look like James Harden. That's what I get over there. Yeah. Everybody got to look alike, right?
Yeah. As we get closer to, we'll start throwing maybe some contests and some giveaways, and we'll spice it up a little bit. Maybe a roster contest, something to it.
Yeah, predict the 53. That's always a good one.
Yeah,
that'll be the question next time.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Maybe that's what we'll do next week. Should we try and predict the 53 and get people to try and predict it with us, Law?
There you go.
Yeah, we can do that because we already went over some surprise cuts, and we can do the
second game would be done.
Yeah, so you can be going into cut downs.
And the next that night. Yeah, the next Friday. Yeah, next Friday's game night.
Yeah. Well, I'll be up. and I have no work, so it's open game for next Friday. But yeah, before you go though, right? Before we finish it up, and I'll ask you this one, Lord, right? And you, Paul and Barry, and Eric as well. And we'll ask everyone: do you think, and I won't say a player, but a position that you think they'll go out and get from free agency?
I should have had my free agent list up.
Surprise cut, but what about surprise ads?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do it at the top of my mind. Then
It could be just be up a position if you want, mate.
it have to be. It have to be wide receiver. We are razor blade thin at wide receiver.
Kicker.
Yeah, kicker. I think that it's going to be Brett that ultimately win that starting job. We saw Lyram. He missed the kick in the rain, of course, but we still writing down tallies. So. I think it's wide receiver. What are y'all thoughts on Cole Beasley before I name another wide receiver?
I just don't see it happening.
Paul, what about you?
Funny enough, I've actually got his jersey. Where is it?
Oh, you got a Cole Beasley jersey, okay?
Yeah, well, signed. It's signed and everything. So, I mean, I've met the guy, lovely, but I don't know if he's crossed his bridges with Cowboys fans because of his talks when he was saying the Buffalo Bills facilities were better and stuff like that. So I don't know, but I don't see it happening. It'll be too much. It'll be too much money as well.
I totally agree there with the bad, the bridges and everything else that were burned. I think maybe I think they're going to move on from that.
Yeah, there was a lot of people saying in the comments. What about you, Eric?
Yeah, wide receiver is definitely the position, but I have no name or whatever.
No name. Okay. So it's wide receiver probably.
Yeah.
What about offensive line?
Well, I was just about to suggest. I think offensive line, because who knows? Like we mightn't necessarily need to bring in some other guys to fill in the void for the backups.
That's going to be interesting with Steele, McGovern, and Tyler Smith. What are they going to do with those three?
Well,
I'm frustrated with the offensive line because I'm continuing to see Connor McGovern getting first-team reps, and all I could think of, you spent a first-round draft capital pick on Tyler Smith, throw him in there so he can get that mental warfare, and then also physical warfare together.
And don't forget as well, you want to create offensive line cohesiveness with the five guys.
Right. We were talking about this earlier in our show, and one thing I did not like about, especially during that preseason game, it was like the instant every down there was a new offensive lineman in that all five. There was no continuity. There was no communication. And I'm
lack of rhythm.
That was the problem. If you're having zero communication and continuity, it's just going to cause more problems, like flags, offsides, missed blocks, not picking up the blitzes, over committing to a block, then you shouldn't be doing it for a double team. All of that. So I completely agree with that. So
we had two good offensive line coaches, I think, in the last 10 years, and that was Mark Colombo. I really liked him, and Bill Callahan. I like those two guys. I think the Cowboys are making an epic mistake with Joe Philbin. How you guys feel about Joe?
I'm not a fan.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I know in Miami, I know some people on the inside said he didn't get along with the players at all.
It's definitely a Mike McCarthy thing because he was Philbin was his OC back, and he brought him in. Obviously, Jerry was so high on Kellen Moore. If it wasn't going to be Kellen Moore, then it would have been Joe Philbin being.
Wow, you know what, Paul? You just really teased my mind with this. I never thought of that. But you know what? That's why he's on it. You brilliant, Paul, because when I looked at his resume, the longest stay of Joe Philbin, you guys look up his resume. He never stayed anywhere for more than 3 years. He's been playing musical chairs. Majority, he stays one place for 1 year, and they figure him out, and they get rid of him. But his longest stay ever been with the Packers, and I was trying to figure it out, and it did say offensive coordinator. So I think that
he was there for 2 terms. 2 terms he was there for.
Yeah, 2 terms. Yeah. I'm gonna do some more research on that because I truly believe that Joe Philbin is a guy that I don't like the ideology of moving these guys around. I
No.
don't. I don't.
I agree.
No.
I mean,
And oh, I'm sorry, Paul. Go for it.
Philbin, like, if you look at Philbin's resume, he does have an extensive resume being an offensive lineman coach, offensive coordinator. Yeah, but
It's 1 year stay, you know?
Mm.
yeah, it literally just feels like chop and change. It's like, oh, I'm getting a better offer here. It's like that little bit of success there and there. He just jumps into the gun. But back to the point, it's like if Kellen Moore was not so much of a Jerry thing, then we would expect to see Philbin being our OC. Do you imagine what that would have been like?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
It's another Nolan situation going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was a terrible experiment there.
Yeah. That was a fun year, right?
Yeah.
I just don't get it with Philbin. And like you say, like when Columbo was there, love it. And like, yeah,
at least with Columbo, you were getting that controlled aggression.
Controlled aggression. There it is.
Oh, I love that word. That's the word of the day. Man, y'all put
exactly
that in the chat.
Thinking.
Controlled aggression.
That was exactly what I was thinking, Paul. Bang on.
And that is like a perfect fundamental for any offensive lineman. It's like, don't get too hot-headed. You need to control the aggression, but you still want to put people on the canvas. You want to pancake them no matter what. Eat pancakes all day, but don't cross that line in that terms of aggressiveness.
Don't let a flag come your way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know the unique thing, and it just could be temperaments. I could be a million miles off from this, but when I was out there in training camp, I liked the new wide receiver coach. He's a hands-on guy. Everybody on the defensive side, Al Harris, Joe Witt Jr., Dirty, all of those guys are hands-on guys. And when you look at Joe Philbin, he is hand behind his back, with the clipboard. He pulls it out every now and then, and he's really not a barker. He just sits aside, aloof a little bit. I think that translates.
Good, Paul.
I was going to give you a little bit of insight. So I had the pleasure of actually hanging about with Adam Dudley way, way back in the day when he was still coaching in the UK for the London Warriors.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking about, 7-8 years ago, perhaps.
Probably more.
And he was the reason why he pushed Effie Obada back then. Like, he was the guy that scouted him back in the day, back in London, and brought Effie to Dallas. He recommended him for that. So, but in terms of the coaching side of Adam, he is honestly takes it so seriously. He's such a hands-on type of coach. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, don't let the accent fool you. He knows his stuff.
But like, here's the thing that you would have with Columbo different to Philbin. Like, I'm seeing there's defensive linemen, opposition defensive linemen on the floor, and I'm watching our offensive linemen putting their hand out and helping them up. I'm just thinking, Columbo would never allow that. He's like, just leave him in the dirt. Leave him down in the dirt.
Are you talking about the whole 2020 situation where Andy Dalton, where players just stood over and saying, what happened to our quarterback? That annoyed me. If that was my quarterback, I'd be throwing fists.
But like, like defensive linemen on the floor. I'm watching our offensive linemen helping them up.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You're talking about that attitude. Yeah.
I misinterpreted there, sorry.
No, like their players are on the floor and our offensive linemen are helping them out. I'm not saying to be nasty and not be a nice guy.
After the game.
Yeah.
If a guy's injured, call a guy over and make sure he's all right. But if the guy's down on the ground, leave him in the dirt.
Yeah, I like that.
Don't help him up.
Yeah, just ask Dan Campbell. I mean, he'll tell you.
The way I see it, if you help him up, you're wasting precious energy by dragging his ass up.
But also, it's that alpha mentality. You need to be the alpha on the offensive line. I'm bullying you.
Yeah, and kudos to Columbo. Look, how's the line been doing since he left?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Let me ask you this. This offensive line for the 2022 season work if what? Go start it off, Paul.
If what? So what's the actual question you're asking here, Law?
How does this 2022 offensive line work? What needs to happen?
We need to establish the run, make sure that we're not holding off any penalties and jumping off sides. That's the first thing. Make sure we're trying to cut down on itchy, twitchy fingers from jumping off the snap count. That's the biggest one. if we can get all the players having that continuity and have the communication, that would definitely resolve that. But anything on top of that, I mean, we've now got that bulldozer in terms of Tyler Smith playing in the guard position. He can, and here's the beauty about Tyler Smith, what people haven't really talked about, is his ability to go upfield for that secondary block, opening those
Next
extra
level.
gaps.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to look after. Look at. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's a bit late, you know.
I'm holding y'all real tight. I think Eric right now is like it's 1 o'clock where he's at, right? It's 1 o'clock, man.
But
I'm
yeah,
holding hostage over here.
I got three for you. Law.
Uh-huh.
Tyron Smith stays healthy.
Yeah.
Tyler
Big
Smith
one.
gets in the starting lineup, either left guard or right tackle, and eliminate the penalties. Those three.
Okay. Penalties.
see that's an big question. Is like, how many games do we expect Tyron Smith to play this year? Because for the past 6 years, he's missed like 6 games a year. He's played like no more than 10, I believe.
I think the most is 14.
Who will be our swing tackle? If that's the case,
Yeah.
are you
That's
guys
what I'm
high on
saying.
Josh Ball? I see that you guys. I probed and picked you guys out. I think that you guys are strong, knowledgeable of this offensive line now. You know, so who would be our swing tackle?
Preferably would have been, well, let's go, but that's not happening.
Well,
so,
let's go.
but it is likely going to be Josh Ball. But
He's
I
gonna
will
play that-
say though, I will say about Josh Ball, his first quarter he was okay. He was doing the right things, but later on in the game, that's when it went all no.
He's not a
No.
swing tackle.
It's not
He's a
swing.
right tackle. Like, you play him on the right, it's not so bad. He'll hold his own. Play him on the left, it falls apart.
You talking
I
about
think
Josh
Ball,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
he played left tackle all in college, right? You know. And
Yeah,
I
And he,
think-
but
and he
at
did,
the moment,
and
when
he did play left on that first
Yeah.
quarter.
And
But
Mike,
what I'm saying is, what I'm seeing lately, what I've seen
Okay.
so far, is that when he's been on the right, it's looked okay, but when he's been on the left, it's not looked it's not
Okay.
looked as good.
Okay.
And I just think that we don't need a swing tackle. We need a right and a left backup tackle.
Mike, what was that stat?
I see what you're
You're the stat man there. Well, let's go. And Tyler Smith last year allowed 1 sack between both of them.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, well, let's go. I think that if Matt Walesko, I think he opted out to have the surgery. He's going to let it heal itself on his shoulder.
That's right, yeah.
That could be an epic mistake. I think he should go ahead and have the surgery and get done with it. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I think because apparently this was a lingering injury from college.
Right.
So I'm just wondering why they didn't rip that Band-Aid off earlier, if you knew about it.
Hey, I guess he was saying, I'm trying to get drafted, man. I ain't trying to have my name out there like that. You know,
Yeah,
so
I
maybe that's the
Suppose,
case.
yeah, you're trying to think of your draft stock, which
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, you're going to get yourself caught out. You're still going to lose
Yeah.
out money
You know.
from like game appearances and stuff like that,
Well, like you
bonuses.
said, maybe a free agent there and let him go get the surgery and bring in a free agent.
Let's swing that question back to you, though, Lord. The question you asked: what is your answer?
I was cheating. I was trying to get all of you guys' answer. But
Yeah.
what will eliminate the penalties, believe it or not, is continuity.
Exactly.
The offensive line is the only unit that all of these guys must be on the same page. And as they say around here, everyone must sing on the same hymnal, you know. And here's the thing. I get it. We want guys to have positional flex. Right now, they playing around with Connor McGovern as being the swing guard. He's playing left and right guard, and he's taking up time and steps for Tyler Smith to grow. I just say rip the Band-Aid out. Say, hey, we drafted you in the first round. We're going to put your big butt out there, make it happen. And a lot of people have a lot of reservations on Tyler Biadasz. Lindstrom looked really good, and Matt Farniok looked really good.
You look
I'm
good.
a big fan of Lindstrom. I like Lindstrom a lot.
He looks good.
He's got it
doesn't
between
he?
the ears. Lindstrom's between the ears. He just needs to get in the gym.
You just need to get in the gym.
Like,
And
like
the same could be
technically-
said about Biadasz, right? He
True,
just
true.
needs to get more strength.
Yeah, yeah.
He had 11 penalties last year. He didn't give up a single sack, but we still need to see more.
Yeah.
And he does get forced back beyond the line of scrimmage way too much, I think personally. And this is I feel like I'm going to bash Bayadish too much here, but during that Denver game, I was just not happy how he was dealing with the communication side of things. He's supposed to
Yeah.
be the center. He's supposed to be the
Okay.
eyes and ears of that offensive line, and yet he overcommits to helping a double team block with Tyler Smith, where Tyler Smith already had it in control. So there's no need for a double block, and left the A gap open, and it led to Cooper Rush or whoever it was who was playing QB had to scramble it out, and next thing went over to a bloody interception. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
Travis.
I mean, like Paul says, it's all about getting more sand in your pants with those guys.
I love that saying, more sand in the pants. So my thing is we will be okay if this offensive line can stay intact and they keep the level of consistency. We had a guy week 1 of the preseason game to average 6.4 yards per tote, and that is the guy Malik Davis. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He's looking good. He's looking good.
That's going to be another one there, Davis or Rico, you know.
Give me Rico though. I still Rico gives you kickoff return plus
exactly. It's special teams. It's everything.
Yeah.
Like
Receiving ability.
I think it really does come down to who Fassel wants more than anybody.
It will be.
Like
yeah, and think about it. We went with light bodies. They cut both of the fullbacks. Ryan Nall, he's gone, and the other fullback.
Talk about that. I'm really sad about that.
Who the other fullback? The guy who was pulling trucks.
Ralston.
Who was
Nick Ralston.
That's the one. That's the Nick Ralston.
Yeah,
because I really thought they were going to try and do a little bit of the San Francisco 49ers idea with a fullback.
I was kind of hoping they would do the whole Keith Smith situation again.
Oh, that's the guy that I hated when they got rid of. See,
I was the same. I loved Keith Smith. I loved him, man. Why did we get rid of him?
Ex-linebacker as well, so we knew the other side of the ball.
Yeah. Before we go into that detail, I want to tell people that Rod Smith, who is the brother of Jalen Smith, he was more of a finesse type of fullback. But if you go back and look at Keith Smith tape, he was more of that dog that would get down in there and move some stuff out the way.
Linebacker mentality.
He had that. I'm going to hit you before you hit me. And he was blowing people off the ball. A lot of people don't know that about Keith Smith.
Yeah, he's still playing. He's still with Atlanta.
He's still with them?
And he's still actually part of the UK Cowboys fans' favourites. He's still a favourite to us, regardless, like for what he contributed to that team.
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, good guy, Keith Smith.
Like I say, it's funny how players who play the opposite position, you know, like with Trayvon Diggs, they see a different side of the game, and it just seems to click better. Yeah. And I do miss Keith Smith.
I still remember that. Oh, some of those blocks he made against the Steelers that game at Heinz Field. It was nothing but poetry in motion.
Ironically, look at whenever Zeke is running behind a player like a fullback, it works so much better. He can do it.
And not just that, there was the flow. You had your Travis Frederick running upfield. You had Zach Martin run, like just making those additional plays right on the upfield, like going right up there. And
it was a beautiful dance
coming out of nowhere, taking bodies.
Poetry in motion, man.
Joe Looney, that one game, remember years ago when Joe Looney, he was down there leading Zeke right all the way down the field almost.
That Saints game. I know what game you're talking about, Barry. That Saints
that was
game.
Awesome.
Big Jumbo, Joe Looney pulled.
The Jumbo Joe.
That's what I want. You know what I want? I love the aggressions of Tyler Smith. If they can get him on some pulls and just have Ezekiel Elliott or Tony Pollard run behind that. Oh, my God. Look, that will get these teams out of those quarters defense and that big dime or big nickel, and they would have to start putting some big meat inside, because what will happen here is they will get afraid of Tyler Smith keep stonewalling them, you know?
Well, I agree. I like the idea of pulling, but if our pull blocks are not actually getting beat, like if our other side of the offensive line aren't even doing their job, then they're already stonewalled before they can actually get upfield. So it's like we need to resolve every part of the O-line to make sure that the pulls actually do execute as we expect them to be, going upfield and make those hits.
I see the UK guys, man. You guys are really, really, really in love with the run game.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm more of a defensive lineman guy myself.
Defensive guy?
Yeah, I used to play with D-line, so...
Oh, so you know what it is.
D-line.
What about
offensive
you,
line.
Mike? You D-line too, guy?
I'm only 5'7".
well, what you like? What would you like, a defense or an offense? So
I do like I've done the scouting academies and like love college football. And one of my favorite things to scout are wide receivers. I just
yes,
really
indeed.
do it. I do love the passing game, the receiving game. It's so much fun to watch because it's so splashy and so explosive.
Most certainly, man. I can't wait for this season kickoff. Eric, you got anything down there?
Sure. I have no football background at all. It's just being a fan and watching some games. And,
Yes, indeed.
Eric's like, I'm ready for some sleep. 1 o'clock.
yeah, I'm ready for
It's
some
one.
sleep. I'm going on a trip tomorrow morning, and have a little going to the European Football League game on
Wow.
Sundays.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Wow!
I need to ask who's your German team?
Yeah, but it's my area, and it's always since 1992. It's Frankfurt Galaxy.
Oh,
So they have the
I remember when the Scottish Claymores played you back in the 90s. I remember that back in the NFL Europe. I remember.
I remember I was in Scotland twice for the World
brilliant.
Bowls, Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
2 times in London. I traveled everywhere.
Well, Eric, I don't want to keep you up, man. Go get some shut
Oh,
eye.
but I have to go. I have to drive tomorrow, so
Get some shut eye. We finna yank the cord anyway, and let everybody know.
Thank you, everybody, so much, and thanks for all you guys do. And don't forget, folks, Saturdays before Cowboy home games, memories of a lifetime. Come hang out with us.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, sure do.
Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate you, Eric. Everybody else, man, hey, leave us feedback on this show. Let us know that if you guys want this to be something that we bring to the table, just like this platform, feel free to give us your thoughts and opinions of everything. But we're going to bring the fire regardless now.
Yeah. And we'll maybe even get a few sneaky guests on with us as well. See what Barry can
by the way,
like.
Isaiah called me about 20 minutes before, said to say hi to everybody, but he was just getting ready to go on set out there in I should say the Charger land, but yeah.
Yeah, and happy belated birthday to the guy, you know?
Yeah.
He's
the best of the best. He's an awesome guy. Don't get much better than Isaiah Stanback.
Yes, indeed.
True.
So, yeah, appreciate everybody. Hey, go ahead and reintroduce everybody to yourselves, and we get on up out of here.
Yeah.
I'm Paul Stewart. As you can see, my handle is IMP2. I do work for the UK Cowboys, and also I do work for bloggingtheboys.com, doing the World's Team podcast.
And you'll find me over at UK Cowboys. Whoop!
And of course, Law Nation. You guys can find me on multiple platforms under that handle, Law Nation. I appreciate everybody.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much.
No doubt.